I am dependent on other people for emotional support. So the easiest response to this would be just be independent, bro. But now, in the spirit of this playlist, let's think about why this is easier said than done. Why is being independent more easier said than done? It's because most likely when you talk to somebody, there are a few things happening, and those few things are really difficult to identify because they're kind of subtle. So let's sort of motivate this, right? Now, you're having a bad day, and then you talk about that bad day with a friend, and the friend listens, and then gives you bounces off some ideas, and then afterwards you feel a lot better. What's happening there? Why do you feel better when you say it out loud? Why does it feel better when somebody listens to you? Because if you can figure these two parts out, then you can kind of replicate that process by yourself. That's what sort of emotionally being independent means, right? But we normally have these experiences of socializing and then feeling better, but we don't really sit down to think about the mechanics of it. What makes communication, what makes open and honest communication so enlightening and enlivening? Why do we feel so much lighter when we let something out verbally? And when the person who listens doesn't judge us or doesn't, criticize us, but instead just listens and gives you witnessing, why is that such a relief? These two questions are ultimately going to help you in discovering your emotional independence. So that would be my suggested starting points. But again, why is that so difficult to answer? Because both of these things require you to look from outside of your perspective, right? So when somebody else is there to listen to you, and when you are talking to somebody else, it requires this different persona. But we're so used to living in our own heads, so it's sort of difficult to imagine outside perspectives as if it were a genuinely outside perspective. Like it's difficult to look at your own thoughts and your own ideas as a truly objective thing that is said by someone else. So in that spirit, that's why it's a little bit harder than it sounds.